DFC Events Manager Val Coffey has been dismissed. Aid Bank offers concessionary interest rates on loans to the underprivileged. And Alec Athanas gets red carpet welcome after he excels in West Indies Under-19 World Cup. I'm Idona John Baptist with the Channel 5 News. Details of these and other stories coming up.
M&J Covering is the producer of designed galvanized and galvalume in Dominica. They design to your specifications, color and length, 4 styles of galvanized and galvalume pre-painted roofing sheets as requested, and supply all your galvalume accessories. M&J Covering helps you control spending and reduce waste. At M&J Covering, they are also equipped to build your roof to precise standards anywhere on island. So come to M&J Covering at 1 Mile in Portsmouth or call 445-5001 275-5003 today.
A young man of Mahu, Kester Jermaine, left in critical condition at the Princess Margaret Hospital following an accident on Jimmet Highway on Wednesday evening. Jermaine was the pillion rider on a bike heading south when the accident occurred. The bike rider, Kilan Etienne of Campbell, died following the accident. This black Suzuki Vitara involved in the accident was retrieved Thursday from where it came to rest following Wednesday evening's accident. Unconfirmed accounts indicate the riders were leaving the gas station and heading for the highway when the accident occurred. People who fall under an underprivileged category are being given the opportunity to borrow monies at concessional interest rates. Students pursuing higher education but come from a household with low income and a number of dependents can benefit from the Aid Bank's 5% interest loan.
We have also considered underprivileged students. There are students who, for one reason or other, they are underprivileged. We also cater to their needs. What do we mean by being underprivileged? We consider an individual as being underprivileged if you come from a household with an annual income under $15,000. So if your annual income is under $15,000, you will fall into that category. If you're a household of a high dependency ratio, meaning 3-to-1, you are a single parent, you have 3 children, then you can fall under that category. If you come from a vulnerable group, for example, your parents, one or more, is disabled or indigent, you're considered to be underprivileged, or if you are benefiting from social assistance. So if you fall under the category, these categories, then you can benefit from a special interest rate of 5%, a maximum loan, student loan of $100,000. The security is non-existent in the sense that you are only required to bring in 2 guarantors for $100,000.
Meantime, the bank has widened the bracket for those who can qualify from a special tourism loan facility. The intent is to help tourism service providers revive their hurricane-ravaged businesses in a short time with a grace period of 12 months.
Prior to Hurricane Maria, persons who could benefit from the tourism line of credit consisted of mainly hoteliers, but now it has been extended to include persons who have student housing facilities at PCAD and persons who offer other tourism services. For example, you have bus services, you have those vendors at the bayfront, and other national trail vendors, and these types of persons. So the gap is really enlarged, it is widened, so more people can benefit from the tourism facility at 2%.
In more news, the success of a first-time street festival to open carnival celebrations is being recommended for adoption going forward. Val Coffey said the outcome of the event and public's feedback was encouraging. He made the comments while he addressed his last news conference as Consultant Events Director of the Dominica Festivals Committee on Wednesday.
It was an interesting energy that came onto the bayfront, and I would recommend that it's something that should be visited. We need to tweak a few things in terms of making it a lot more better. But as a lot of the bands were destroyed by Hurricane Maria, it affected the normal flow. But it would be a very nice thing to just leave it that way. It's less complicated. The streets, people will walk, come into the venue, get into the thing, and we were able to move them from the. I mean, if we on a normal day, we'll have been lined up by the library, DBS radio coming down, and that will give us enough time to even create a nice little atmosphere and to feel the bayfront.
Coffey said he would like those managing the planning of Carnival to consider that style of opening Carnival in the future.
I liked what I saw. My team, I think, appreciated the effort that was given by the groups that participated, and it's something that I will recommend to Mr. Badwell, the chairman. I will recommend to the CEO, Mr. Piper, and to all those who will be coordinating carnivals in the future.
Val Coffey has been sacked as Festival and Events Manager of the Dominica Festivals Committee 4 days after he tendered his resignation.
Coffey said he would not comment on the record. However, he released a statement explaining that he tendered his resignation on January 29th. His resignation would have taken effect on March 1st. Coffey explained in the statement that based on his contract of employment, he was required to and gave 1 month notice. According to him, he was given a letter on the 1st of February asking him to leave the post with immediate effect. The development comes following a decision by the Dominica Festivals Committee to terminate an agreement with former Calypso monarch Dice, who was asked to perform at last Friday's Carnival opening street festival. Chairman of the Discover Dominica Authority, Benoit Badwell, could not be reached for comment. Dominica's food security and trade sectors have been strengthened through a generous donation by the French government.
During a presentation ceremony on Thursday, Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture, Dr. Reginald Thomas, said the 16 kVA generator can be used to power all labs at the Division of Agriculture. This piece of equipment is vital to keeping the labs running should a future natural disaster affect the lab's source of electricity.
One of our biggest challenges as a ministry was our diagnostic capacities. So we had no power. We had lost some, we had just invested a couple $1,000, well over $15,000 in the reagents for our being able to do our diagnostic work, both from a veterinary point of view and plant health. We lost all of the reagents that we had, and the samples included. So what we wanted and we reached out to our colleagues within the region is to provide us with some backup generator that could have assisted us. So in future events, God forbid, but we would have some kind of backup power that we can continue the work that we need to do. Very important work. Our diagnostic capacity is important, of course, for as it relates to food security, but importantly, as it relates to trade.
A representative of the Martinique Division of Agriculture was on hand for the donation.
Nous avons choisi d'aider la Dominique parce que depuis maintenant 15 ans environ, nous sommes inscrits dans une démarche de coopération avec toutes les îles de la Caraïbe.
We decided to help Dominica, particularly in these circumstances, because over the past 15 years we have entered into an agreement of cooperation with the islands. Within this agreement of cooperation, we are working with the Department of Plant Protection because insects and what we refer to as pests, they travel through the wind, with the wind, and they have no respect of any form of borders or boundaries. Just as well as it is for us to help Dominica in protecting and re-establishing through the cooperation that we have entered into, it is just as well we do the same thing for Martinique, for Guadeloupe, and the rest of the Caribbean.
A $7 million grant is still being disbursed to deserving farmers and fisherfolk as the Ministry of Agriculture irons out kinks in its distribution system.
The money was made available by the World Bank to the government of Dominica, who signed a contract with the Aid Bank for the funds to be distributed through that institution. Allocation of the grant money began on Wednesday, 24th January and was expected to end on Monday, 29th January. However, the payout continues into February to accommodate farmers who were not able to collect their money on the respective days. Permanent Secretary in the Ministry of Agriculture told Channel 5 News that some discrepancies have come to the attention of the ministry and they are working on rectifying them.
So we continue to deliver checks starting today in the west and in the north, and tomorrow we will go on into the east and southeast, and next week we will do central and south, that's Monday, and Tuesday we will do the northeast. We recognize that there are a number of people who were not able to go on the particular days for whatever reasons, or several reasons, were not able to go and collect the check. So we, as a means of facilitating the process, we are going back out to try to get these checks to these people. There, as it relates to your question, of course there were various issues, inconsistencies that we were able to identify, and we continue to identify some of them and trying to put measures in place to ensure that the people who really need the funds are those who actually benefit from those funds.
There have been mass gatherings at the distribution points, and some farmers and fisher folk have been more than disgruntled over the disbursement system. Dr. Thomas says there are measures in place to address the concerns of the farmers and fisher folk.
Within the program, there was a complaint mechanism, which for transparency and accountability, if you are not satisfied, even with the amount that you get because you thought that you were more deserving, then there's a complaint mechanism at the point of collection that you can go in, make your complaint, which will be reviewed by a panel, and then a decision will be made as it relates to providing answers to your particular complaint.
Thomas says that the large number of farmers and fisher folk who turned up will be used to augment already existing information on farmers and fisher folk in the country.
For us, it is an interesting volume of information. We have identified many farmers. We know what they are doing, where they are doing it, and so it gives us a body of information that we can develop, we can plan on, and to roll out programs that will benefit everybody going forward. So again, we have not had any sort of registration in that magnitude since 1995, when we did our last agricultural census. So while this is not a census, but it provides us with a volume or a body of information that some work in terms of planning, in terms of delivery of our programs, that we can focus, target the people that are really in need of those programs.
900 large commercial farmers and fisher folk are to receive $10,000 each, while 3,022 small commercial farmers and fisher folk are to receive $3,000 each, and 500 individuals who do not fall in the above-mentioned categories are to get $1,000 each. Andrea Louis, Channel 5 News.
In other news, a number of communities along the coast to benefit from a shelter plan by the International Federation of the Red Cross as part of its post-Hurricane Maria efforts in Dominica.
Soufriere Scott said Roseau and Layu areas are among the targeted communities.
We are planning to reconstruct fully roofs and partially roofs that were part of the population. Our areas of implementation will be the full parish of St. Luke and St. Mark. We are going to work in the St. George parish, but in the villages that are outside the urban setting. And we are also working in the parish of St. Joseph, precisely in the Layu village, and where we are starting our pilot project in Layu, in which we have, up to now, we repaired 27 roofs in Layu. Part of this implementation that we did in Layu was initially because we had a school in Layu that had 15 families that were staying in a school as a charter. So what we did in terms that we emptied that shelter so students of that school could start their school during this year, we bring out those people and we do their roofs, and up to that we have a total amount that we want to do in Layou of 45 households in Layou up to now. We are in the process of completing that amount. And in the parish of St. Paul, we are going to do in the communities of Cochrane, Campbell, Pial, Repos, and coordination with other agencies. All what we are doing it complete in coordination with other agencies, with the village councils, the local authorities, and our community disaster teams in the different communities.
The Red Cross will also provide technical assistance by training carpenters, making them an asset to their communities. Construction will closely follow government building standards, and labor will be provided for senior citizens who can't participate in the construction process. Building materials available locally will be purchased in an effort to support the local market. Only the most vulnerable people will qualify for assistance under this roof reconstruction program.
Our core criteria is that we are looking in terms of shelter for the roof that are fully destroyed or partially destroyed, okay, as a result of Hurricane Maria. We are also looking at damaged houses or apartments that are primary residence of the beneficiary. Our additional criteria related to the shelter is a combination of their economical status, the vulnerability status in terms of if there are the number of children that are living in the household, elderly people, ill people, disability, and also mothers with that are pregnant, women that are pregnant, and also people that are unemployed.
Jamaican Dr. Jocelyn Salmon is Acting Director General of the Dominica Red Cross for the next few months, charged with revamping the organization. He replaces Kathleen Pinard-Byrne, who retired from the post of Director General after 25 years of service.
I'm here because the call has been made to come and assist to address some issues related to the Dominican Red Cross, and to help in the rebuilding and the continued response to the Hurricane Maria episode. What's my objective? My objective is to use my organizational skills to help to reestablish the structures of the organization and make it as functional as we want it to be. What's my timeline? I have a limited timeline. I have until June to do all that I need to do. That's the time that we have in mind, and we will see to what extent we can meet that. We have no guarantee that we'll meet it, but we plan to do all we can to meet it. I would like to complete it before June, so we'll see what happens. It is my hope that after I have completed my task over the next few months, we'll have begun with a reinvigorated Dominica Red Cross, well prepared to hold the hands of people in Dominica and to carry out our auxiliary role as vibrant a manner as can be.
Government is looking forward to continuing its relationship with the new leadership of the Dominica Red Cross.
We know, especially with the passage of any disaster, be it a hurricane, the Ministry of Social Services is being stretched to the point where we really look forward to partnerships like that of the Red Cross. And prior to even the hurricane, we have been able to partner with the Dominica Red Cross in responding to that need. And it became greater with the passage of Maria, when many of our persons were displaced, and we found comfort coming to the Dominica Red Cross. Actually, I know they saw me here many times, or maybe our referrals, we would send persons to the Dominica Red Cross. We were able to receive many of the supplies that maybe would have been more difficult for families, and we intend to continue that same kind of partnership with the new maybe leadership. I actually spoke to Dr. Salmon, and I have drafted a letter to him looking forward to maybe that continued assistance, which we will always be looking forward to.
This is Channel 5 News. Your sports highlights are next.
Rudolph Thomas Enterprise in Portsmouth, your suppliers of building materials and hardware products. Over 20 years experience in the business. Rudolph Thomas has lumber and plywood, galvanized and fence pipe. Check out Rudolph Thomas for ceramic and vinyl floor and wall tiles, nails, nuts and bolts, paint and painting supplies. And check out their line of electrical and hand tools. Go now to Rudolph Thomas on 1240 Bay Street in Portsmouth.
First up in sports, leading run scorer in the West Indies Under-19 World Cup, Alec Athanas, was welcomed home in a big way on Thursday. Kenny Williams reports.
With a warm welcome at Douglas Charles Airport and further celebrations that followed at Fort Young Hotel, 19-year-old Athanas received many gifts from sporting heads and other well-wishers to celebrate his accomplishment. In a press conference the same day, the national cricketer admitted that while his achievement in the World Cup was admirable, it would not have been possible without his support system. Responding to a question on how he felt to finish as top run scorer in the tournament, he had this to say.
It still hasn't sunk in actually. I still feel normal actually. I haven't really give it much thought. So it feels good obviously to hear it, but it hasn't sunk in. So Rafa, I think helped me a lot. We've actually he found every way possible to get in contact with me, whether through Facebook or whether he would leave his home miles away to come at my home just to speak to me. I think my coach, I think my parents as well, and some of my team members. I think our skipper for Granby, I think for Granby Colts, I think he has been with me. He has been with me for a long while. So he has been motivating me a lot.
Athanas says his next goal is to make the Volcanoes team and encourages budding cricketers to be dedicated to the sport.
My next goal is to make the Windward senior team. That's my next goal. I don't like to think too far ahead. I like to take it one step at a time, a day at a time. So I think my next goal is just the senior team, just the Windward senior team, and move on from there. My word of advice is never make excuses, because I could remember myself back 2 years back always making excuses, and my coach is really tough. He came from the army, so he kind of dealt with me mentally. So I think don't make excuses, just do the work, because you never know which opportunity or who could see you that could make a difference.
Athanas has a bright future ahead as he continues to get support from all and sundry. What amazing feat will this 19-year-old from Granby achieve next is anyone's guess. Kenny Williams, Channel 5 Sports.
West Indies all-rounder Andre Russell will play his first competitive cricket match on Friday since his one-year ban last year.
The 29-year-old will represent Jamaica in the Regional Super 50 West Indies Domestic 50-over competition against Leeward Islands in Antigua. Russell is free to play cricket after having served a year-long ban for violating the whereabouts clause under the World Anti-Doping Agency Code, which came into effect on January 31, 2017. He was found guilty of being negligent in filing his whereabouts on 3 separate occasions within a 12-month period in 2015. Under the WADA rules, that amounts to a failed dope test. Russell is one of the most sought-after players in T20 leagues around the world. Recently, along with his West Indies teammate Sunil Narine, Russell was one of the 2 players retained by Kolkata Knight Riders before the IPL auction. Knight Riders paid Russell approximately US $1.33 million for the retention. However, Russell's focus is expected to be on testing his physical and match fitness in the Super 50 tournament. Out of the 8 matches Jamaica play, Russell is expected to play most, if not all, before he departs for the Pakistan Super League, which starts in Dubai from February 22. Russell is part of the Islamabad United, the inaugural title winners in 2016. Russell's last ODI appearance was in 2015. After the PSL, he will head to India for the IPL. He is then likely to be part of the Windies A squad to face England A for one-day matches. Based on his performances, the selectors are likely to consider him for selection for the home ODI series against Bangladesh this summer.
There were wins for Leeward Island Hurricanes and Guyana Jaguars in the 2018 Super 50 Cup on Wednesday. Kenny Williams has more.
Beginning with the Leewards versus USA cricket match, where Leewards won by 162 runs, complements an all-round performance by Raheem Cornwall and brilliant bowling by Akil Jose. Batting first, Leewards scored 298 for the loss of 8 wickets. Cornwall smashed an undefeated 132, including 8 fours. Montin Hodge also contributed a well-deserved 58. Set 299 to win, USA was bowled out for 136 in 38.5 overs. Akil Jose took a whopping 5 wickets for 26 runs. Cornwall also took 3 for 27. Meantime, Guyana held on to beat Kent combined campuses and colleges by 35 runs. The winning team won the toss and elected to bat first and scored 233 all out in 49 overs. 43-year-old West Indies legend Shivnarine Chandapal showed the most resistance at the crease with 67. Mitchell Claydon was a menace for Guyana, taking 5 for 31. Set an unlikely 234 for victory, Kent was bowled out for 198 in 46.3 overs. Their highest scoring batsman was Zach Crawley's 60. Virasamy Permaul finished things up for Guyana, taking 4 for 46. Devendra Bishu also had a good day with the ball, picking up 3 wickets for 34 runs. Kenny Williams, Channel 5 Sports.
And finally in sports, 5 schools began their quest to claiming the 2018 Secondary Schools Volleyball Championship title when the competition began on Wednesday.
Playing at 2 venues, the male and female champs saw teams playing competitive volleyball. In the male category, we can tell you that defending champions Dominica State College went on to defeat Pierre Charles Secondary on their home court 3-1. Castlebrew Secondary shared a similar fate as the fallen PCSS team, losing 3-2 against Dominica Grammar School. Checking out results from the female championship, it was an easy win for the CBSS team when they had a total dominance in their match against DGS, scoring 3-0. And in the PCSS versus Wesley High game, the visiting WHS girls had to settle for a 3-2 defeat when they came up against the host team at Grand Bay. The game between Northeast Comprehensive and Isaiah Thomas Secondary, carded for St. Joseph, was called off due to transportation difficulties on the part of the NECS girls.
Do you need more cash for that home improvement? Then come to Fast Cash, where we give you more. At Fast Cash, our customers get more funds and more time to repay. But wait, can't come to us? We'll come to you, and our mobile officer will get you on your way. Small businesses, consumers, and taxi owners, Fast Cash has more for everyone. Simply call or visit any of our locations for more. Smarter, faster, better. Fast Cash. Terms and conditions apply.
To end the news, the headlines again. DFC Events Manager Val Coffey has been dismissed. Aid Bank offers concessionary interest rates on loans to the underprivileged, and Alec Athanas gets red carpet welcome after he excels in the West Indies Under-19 World Cup. Feel free to contact us at news@marpin2k4.com. You can also access our newscasts on YouTube and tdnentertainment.net. On behalf of the entire production team, I am Idona John Baptist. Thanks for watching. Join us tomorrow.